After a completely one-sided performance in the conference championship, we are now officially in the home stretch. And before we advance to the following week, let's take a peek at our trophy room so we can see the new hardware that we've been awarded. And as you can see, the MAC championship trophy that was awarded to us after that 63-7 lashing of Buffalo, the Mid-American Conference champions for the third straight year in a row, this being the fourth year of this dynasty. Before we do advance, one other thing, let's take a peek at some of these records that we have set, some of these seasonal records for the nation. So national seasonal records, not too many of ours. We do have Ollie Fisher up there for 2026 with 2,302 receiving yards, but there you have it, Terrion Martin with 41 rushing touchdowns in a season, that being a new national record. And he's only going to continue to add to that. And for the season, for the MAC conference, Terrion Martin has 2,074 yards. So you can see we're closing in on Barry Sanders. And if we go the entire distance and make it to the national championship, Terrion Martin should be able to break Barry Sanders' record. That 28 sacks by Kobe Smith, I'm pretty sure that is being threatened right now by Juelis Walls. I don't know. I'd have to take a peek and see what his stats look like on a season, but I'm pretty sure he's threatening that right now to break that record. University records, we actually have a lot of our current players on this list. And even if they aren't currently playing on the team, they have played on this team during this entire dynasty rebuild. So you can see we've actually been building upon something from the start. But enough playing around, enough messing around. It's time to go ahead and advance to the next week and see what our fate holds as far as the college football playoff is concerned. And right out the gate, we have another commit, another 3-star commit out of Atlanta, Georgia, right edge John Tubbs. So this is somebody we started getting on late in the season. Oh, we got ourselves another one, a 3-star center out of Tip City, Ohio, Alex Brahms. So that's two individuals that we actually started recruiting heavily late in the season, and we actually got them to commit. And we have a lot of players who actually have us first currently on their list. So we are in the 12. Hold on. I hope that's just 12th in the top 25, and that's not referencing our position in the college football playoff. Because if we're actually the 12th seed right now, and you know who is the 5th seed, I don't even know what to say right now. I really, really, really hope we don't have to face who I think we have to face off against in the first round of the college football playoff. We're a little down right now, but we have to set that aside because we do have some accolades. Kobe Smith did have a massive MAC Defensive Player of the Week type performance against Buffalo in the conference championship with 4 sacks, 8 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss. He lived in the backfield, and Terrion Martin had an explosive week himself. MAC Offensive Player of the Week, 22 carries, 382 yards rushing, averaging 17 yards a carry, and what's not pictured is his 9 rushing touchdowns. So another monstrous performance by Terrion Martin. I'm kind of finding it a little hard to be excited right now because I think I know who we're facing off against in the first round of college football playoff. And that could spell our demise. That could spell us going home in the first round. And everything we worked hard for this season can go right down the drain. So looking at the top stories, the top 25 in the nation, there you have it. We are 12th. So hopefully that means we're just 12th in the nation, and that's not our playoff seeding. But if the playoff seeding mirrors this, we're in trouble because, as you can see, Georgia is number 5, and they have been our kryptonite. We've spoken about that multiple times before. And, yeah, we played them early on in the regular season, and it didn't bode well for us. 45-14 was that final score, and we ended up losing the next week to Alabama. We didn't really regroup like we were supposed to, but we did bounce back after that. But all of those opponents were actually our conference opponents, so we have to look at that playoff bracket and verify. And wow. So much for this being our year. So much for this being our year. Well, I told y'all last episode, if we have to face off against Georgia, we weren't going to have confidence at all. We at this point, we don't feel like we can beat them. We had a chance. We felt like we were on even playing field in the national championship when we scratched them. We clawed all the way back, and really we were the reason we lost that game. We felt good about that. We felt like we could come back this year and we could take the whole thing. But then that early season matchup came and demoralized us. And now we have to face off against them in the first round of the college football playoff. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's check out the Heisman finalists before we advance to the next week. And Terrion Martin, after that performance, like I said, that performance should have solidified his position and secured the trophy for him. But again, anything can happen. Just because he's first and just because he's had these last few really big games means nothing. But we do feel confident that he should win that trophy. And it's been a massive bounce back season for him because remember, like I said a couple episodes ago, we have to keep in mind he started the season off. We weren't giving him the ball much at all. He didn't have anything. And then he exploded on that 6 to 8 game stretch that we had. So speaking of, let's take a look back at our schedule. As you can see, we started off hot. We came in beating Ohio State for a second year in a row, this time in regulation. Then we destroyed Kentucky and we felt really good. Then we had to face off against the big bad wolf in the Georgia Bulldogs. And as you can see right there, we lost 45-14. And we followed that up with another L to Alabama, 19-14. And demoralized we were, but we bounced back with a 49-27 victory over the Toledo Rockets. And we found our groove the following week against Central Michigan, winning 56-10. Then we just went on a complete tear as we beat UMass 38-14, Bowling Green 49-10. Then we had to face off against Miami of Ohio, where we completely destroyed them 63-10. Eastern Michigan 42-3, Ohio 63-0, and then Western Michigan 69-3. And just when you thought we were done, we played Buffalo and beat them 63-7 for the MAC Conference Championship. A lot to be riding high on. But with all that being said and done, we really just got brought back down to earth. Like, how can I say this? We spent the entire season trying to rebound after being punched in the gut by this very same opponent. And after that opponent, we suffered another tough loss. And we thought all was done. Had no possibility of making a college football playoff. And we went on this crazy run, demolishing everybody. And now here we are. At the end of this run, having to face the very same bully that punched us in the mouth. And we don't know how to feel about that. We don't know how to feel about that right now. So we're on to the next week, which this should be game week. If I'm not mistaken, this is rewards week 2 or awards week. Why did I say rewards? This should be awards week. So we should learn right here, right now, if Terrion Martin has indeed won the Heisman Trophy. So first up, he has the Walter Camp Award for 2028 with his 142 carries, 2,074 rush yards, 14 yards per carry on the season. So round of applause for Terrion Martin for the spectacular season, the spectacular performance he put on during the season. And there you have it, 2028 Maxwell Award winner. Again, you see the statistics. With him getting these 2 awards, you would have to assume, right? And there it is. There it is. We finally obtained our first Heisman Trophy of this current dynasty that we're on. It took a while. It took a long while. And we almost didn't even get to this point until we decided early on in the season, well, around the midpoint of the season, that we wanted to focus in on one player and one player only, and that ended up being Terrion Martin. And as you can see, it paid off. Juelis Walls, after his monstrous year, he ends up winning the 2028 Chuck Bednarik Award. 26 sacks, 39 tackles, 45 tackles for loss. A outstanding season for one of the league's or one of the nation's elite top edge rushers. 2028 defensive end of the year. So he brings home even more bacon. And this just shows you the type of season that he's been having all along. Remember, we had that lights out season last season with Kobe Smith, where he was the guy winning all of these awards. And now here it is, it's Juelis Walls. And he's also the 2028 Bronco Nagurski Award winner. And Terrion Martin bringing home even more awards, being the 2028 Doak Walker Award winner. Jaden Walker, another guy who stepped in there and flashed off. And honestly, this could have been Barkley as well, because the way he performed towards the end of the season there, he was lights out as well. But Jaden Walker bringing home the 2028 Dick Butkus Award. And Juelis Walls getting in on the action again with the 2028 Lombardi Award. So a lot of outstanding performances year long by multiple players on offense and defense. And we already knew it. We just got confirmation here. You've been invited to play in the college football playoff this week against Georgia. So here it goes. Here goes nothing. You know, I know I sound down at the moment. Justifiably so. Again, if you've seen those games, if you've been monitoring this dynasty and you've seen those games, you know why I feel this way. We're going to have to try to find some kind of confidence somewhere, because if we go into this game with extremely low confidence, feeling like we just have no possibility of beating them, then they're probably going to 88 and out the gate us immediately. So before we kick off against them, we got to find ourselves, and we got to find ourselves immediately. We're going to go ahead and end it right here, since this episode is already pushing on 12 minutes long, and we want to ride our high for a short period of time before we have to possibly suffer defeat. But as always, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more of this Kent State rebuild, as well as other college football 26 content. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time.